Hello everyone, it's your buddy Sven here, once again coming at you with another Warframe video. So today, I figured since, as of yesterday, in case you didn't notice, we hit 100 subscribers. That's just amazing, yay, whoop-de-doo. And I figured we would take this as an opportunity to go back to something that we did to start this channel, and what originally people seem to take a lot of interest in, and that was my Getting to Know series. And I was looking through my Getting to Knows, and I saw something huge. I have not yet covered my favorite frame in this entire game. My favorite frame being Frost. Now, Frost is an absolutely lovely frame. I adore him. You guys are going to see me gush about him a lot this video. So, for those of you who don't know, Frost has a Prime version, which has been removed from the drop tables. It was the first ever frame to be removed from the drop tables in-game, and so as a result, you'd have to buy him from the market. The entire set running around 400 platinum, from what I've heard. So he's a pricey Warframe, but I've got him back when you can get him from the drop tables. Just to show you what he looks like normally, this is a pretty good indicator of how he looks normally. This is his default helm. You have the Squall helmet, which has this little fan on the top of it. I like the Squall helmet. I honestly do. And then you have the Aurora, which is like a half halo. I think it looks pretty nice. I just don't have it yet. But my personal preference is the Frost Prime helmet. Also, the rings kind of remind me of the Halo rings from the Halo franchise, so that's my personal little bit. And as an added bonus, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the animation sets that Frost has available to him. So you have the Nun, which is the default for all Warframes. He has the Agile animation set. This is with the shotgun in hand. They change depending on the weapon you have. So he hunches over. And then you have the Noble, where he's very refined, and I like the Noble sets, but my favorite of all, which is the Hydroid Noble animation. So, yeah, that's just my personal preference. Anywho, we're going to go ahead and get right down to his stats and abilities and yada yada yada. My Frost Prime is fully built, so my stats look a little bit different, but I'm going to be going over the bases because I can't necessarily tell you, once you get Frost, you're going to magically cap out at that 1300-ish shield that you see on me. So his health starts at 100 and goes up to 300 at rank 30. That's pretty default. His armor is 300, meaning he's one of the bulkier frames in the entire game. So he is a tank by all accounts. Maybe not as much as Rhino or some Chroma builds, but he is a big boy. His shield starts at 150 and goes to 450 at rank 30. So redirection has a far larger effect on him than Vitality does. I don't play Vitality on my Frost, actually. I only play Redirection. Trust me, you don't die. Even in Tower of Force, you do not die. Part of that is because of his kit, which I'll go into later. So his power starts at 100 and goes to 150 at rank 30. That's kind of standard. He's on the lower end of the power spectrum, but a lot of frames are in that boat too. And his sprint speed is a 0.95. This has actually gone up since I've started playing Warframe, which was approximately 2 years ago-ish. He used to be a 0.9 tying with a Rhino, but they recently gave him a little bit of a bump up to 0.95. I thought that was pretty exciting. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get right into his abilities. This is the fun part. This is the nitty-gritty. This is what I love talking about. Now, there's another move that you see here that isn't listed. So before we go into his 1, 2, 3, and 4, we're going to talk about his passive. He actually has a hidden passive that you may not know about. This passive is called Cryogenic. Now, as the name would entail, Frost is a very cold frame, meaning that any melees that hit him actually have a chance to be frozen. It's a very nice ability, and it's saved my life a few times. I actually didn't really know about it until recently, where someone hit me and was frozen solid. That was really interesting, and as a result, I was able to turn around, use my nice little heck, which is shown right here, to blast the man to smithereens. Anywho, we're going to go ahead and get right into his Freeze ability. Freeze is his first ability, costing 25 energy. Now what this is it's just you shoot a frigid energy blast at a dude, and it stops them in their tracks and deals some damage, and does a little bit around them. So that's a really fun ability. Trust me, it is not one of the more lackluster ones in the game. Now, the usual strength, duration, range, and efficiency that I talk about, those of you who are, returners to this series or have seen me do a few of these videos before, that's the order I talk about these skills in, and I discuss them for everything. So the strength ups the damage of the move, both the initial hit damage on what you aim at and the area around it. Duration is the duration of the crowd control, in other words, the freezing on Frost. This means that they'll stay frozen longer, or if your duration is lower, they stay frozen for shorter periods of time. The range does not have an effect on freeze to my knowledge. I have not noticed it if need be. I have experimented with some range moves, but they don't seem to impact freeze. And the efficiency on all of his moves is the cost, but I'll keep saying that most likely. Now, Ice Wave is his second ability. You unlock this at rank 3, and this costs 50 energy, and it is a wave of razor-sharp crystallized ice toward an enemy, dealing heavy damage. The damage is quite noticeable. It is very, very large, actually. It is a good move, good for clearing out a solid line of enemies. I don't use Ice Wave nearly as much as I should. But the strength, duration, range, and efficiency are as follows. Strength, of course, ups the damage. Strength usually does that to moves. Duration has no effect because there's no CC and it's just an attack. The range increases, actually 2 parts are increased or decreased by the width, and that is the length and width. Giggity. Now, the length, of course, being how far it goes, and the width meaning how wide it is, meaning that you have the room to hit more people. And the efficiency, of course, lowers the costs. Now, the third move is Snow Globe. Snow Globe is what Frost has been known for since he became a Warframe. Snow Globe is freezing any vapor and moisture in the area, creating a protective sphere with brief invulnerability to boost its strength. Now, Snow Globe is a very fascinating move. It's incredible, honestly. I love this move with all my heart. It's what got me into Warframe because Frost is not only a tank himself, but he can tank for his allies with the Snow Globe. And they recently buffed Snow Globe, which I'll go into the chemistry of in a little bit. But I want to cover the stats before I can talk about the tips and tricks with Snow Globe. So Snow Globe costs 50 energy, as I stated, and its strength impacts its health. So as you can see right here, my Snow Globe's health is 3,500. That is a beefy Snow Globe. But in addition, I'll talk about this later in the tips and tricks, but there's a way to even get that up more in-game without even using mods. The duration affects the invuln timer, which is that brief invulnerability it has if you have larger duration nowadays. It used to actually be that Snow Globe was on a timer, but that's not the case anymore. Now it is just when it dies, and now it has the invulnerability period, which is affected by duration. And the invulnerability period lets you and your allies shoot it, and it gains health as a result. That is one of the ways to gain health on your Snow Globe. And the range, of course, impacts the range of the globe, whether you want it to be smaller or larger. I recommend getting things about as big as you want, you know? A bigger globe is really nice because you can accommodate all of your team in it, and it's really nice, especially for one of the mods that pertains to Frost. But I'll do that when I get into an advanced Frost video, which will be coming to you guys at some point. I'll be doing advanced tutorials for the frames. And of course, the efficiency lowers the cost. Now, before I move on to Avalanche, which is the ultimate ability for Frost and his big, big move, barring Snow Globe, there's chemistry between Snow Globe and Freeze as of update 17. Now, what this chemistry is that when you have a Snow Globe, you can exit the Snow Globe at any given point, of course. It's completely passable terrain. And freeze if you shoot a freeze at a Snow Globe, it blows up and deals damage. I believe it's scaling with the remaining health on Snow Globe, in addition to your freeze. It's a really interesting move, especially if you build range on Snow Globe. It's a very large explosion. Frost does have some surprising damage to him. In my opinion, he's a jack of all trades. He's a little bit slow and lumbering, but he makes up for it with his tank stats. But and the other trick to Snow Globe, before I forget this is huge. If you cast a Snow Globe inside another Snow Globe, it adds the health pools together. The current health from that one out there and the health of your new one. This can be stacked quite a lot, of course, provided you have the energy for it. So if you have a Trinity, you have like an infinitely lasting Snow Globe now. Even on tier 4, it is really strong. It's just fantastic. I can gush about it. I could do a whole video on Snow Globe, honestly, but I should move on. Now we have Avalanche. Summons a treacherous landslide of ice that instantly freezes and shatters all enemies in the radius. This has so much to it that it's just fantastic. There's armor reduction to it, there's a lot of damage, and then there's damage past freezing them. There's a huge radius to it. You could actually freeze them for a solid amount of time. And it's so far spanning. Mine spans 15 meters with only, I think, an extra stretch on it. That is a very far ability for something like that, for what it does. Now, the strength, duration, range, and efficiency, of course. Strength ups the damage, duration ups the CC and armor reduction. It's really interesting to me that duration was to increase the armor reduction on this. But yeah, that's how it goes. So the CC, of course, meaning that their stay frozen longer, and the armor reduction lasts longer. That's what it is. I just remember that. Herp dirt. Range, of course, increases the radius of it, and efficiency lowers the cost. But all in all, I view Frost as a serious CC machine who, honestly, I view him as one of the most indispensable Warframes in the game right now. I view him as good for nearly every single type of mission. I think no matter what you're looking to do, a Frost could be very, 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 very helpful for your team. Now, that about wraps up this video here. Leave a like down below if I helped you learn something about my love of the game. And leave a comment down below if you want me to answer any questions about any Warframe, particularly Frost. I know a lot about Frost. If you guys want to hear more about him, let me know. If you have a question, I'll answer, I promise. And please hit that big red button down below. Subscribe to my channel. That gets me all giddy and excited, and you know, you can see my videos the moment they come out, which is just fantastic. I love when you guys subscribe to me. Thank you all so much for those of you who have, and all those who will. Anywho, this has been Sven. I'll see y'all in the next video. Take care.